One and all, it's me again, an alternative voice. I figured I would discuss the issue of being old school versus being a FUD. There is a very big difference, and a lot of people cannot make that distinction. There's a lot of videos making fun of old school people, old school gun owners, condemning them as FUDs. That is not fair. You know, there is nothing wrong with liking M1 Grands, long barreled shotguns, M1911s, revolvers, or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with liking to hunt. There is nothing wrong with liking clay pigeons, liking clay pigeon competitions, or antiquated firearms. Nothing at all. There is everything wrong with believing in gun rights for me, not for thee. You know, People that believe that gun owners who believe in magazine bans, red flag laws, um, you know, believe that certain people should not be allowed to own guns who aren't in prison or in jail. There are, it's just, or people on certain type of medications or have mental disorders. That is a FUD. It doesn't matter whether they have, a M1 Grand in their hands or a $3,000 AR-15 with a $4,000 optic. It doesn't matter whether they wear a hunting vest, body armor, or 511 or anything. If you believe in gun rights for me, not for thee, you are a FUD. Plain and simple. And, I've met several old school guys, and, in the gun stores and at gun shows and shooting ranges and elsewhere. How, and, you know, I say to them, it's like, when they have their old school weapons, like one guy uses a Ruger Mini 14 for his home defense, and he's like, you know, I'm old school. This is how I defend my home. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I told him, I asked him, do you believe I should be allowed to own a fancy AR-15? And he's like, absolutely. Different strokes for different folks, he said. And he was old school. He wasn't a FUD. And as far as being old school, sometimes old school weapons have advantages over the latest and quote-unquote greatest gear. I mean, like an M1911 or can still function very well in combat these days. Still a very useful tool, and in fact, its limited magazine capacity, like a revolver's, discourages, spray and pray. And as they'll teach you in any CCW class, you are responsible for every round that leaves your firearm. And, however, it's like also another one, the M1 Grand. A lot of people would label it as obsolete in today's world. Not quite. In fact, it's got a lot more range than the AR-15, and you can put black tip 30-06 rounds in it. Great for armor piercing. The 5.56 or 223 is a relatively weak round for varmint hunting. It's not ideal for dispatching deer or people. Deer and a human are roughly equal. I mean, what caliber you would use to kill a deer or dispatch a crazy human is what you should use for, is what you should use for dispatching a crazy human. Anyhow, 30-06 has armor piercing capabilities, and I know that there is bronze tip ammo, 5.56 ammo these days, or 8.55A1, and those will work against certain types of plates, but not others. I have seen if I've seen black tip go through level four plates, and that's not common, but it does happen. Like, it'll hit the first shot, doesn't go through, but the second shot does. But those things can take pretty much a whole magazine of 5.56 or 223. However, it's just, you know, but that's neither here nor there. I support everyone's right to own a gun. The only people who I believe should not be allowed to own guns are prisoners, people in jail or prison. They should not be allowed to own guns. I believe in gun rights for everyone. And I also believe in free speech for everyone. And if you're a Fudd, fuck you. But I'll still march for your right to be a Fudd and say the things you do. Like, I support the Second Amendment, but I believe in bump stock bans. I believe in automatic weapon bans. I like the fact that felons can't own guns. I like the fact that, you know, all this crazy stuff, you know? Stupid stuff. But I will march for your right to behave like that. See, Fudds don't care about gun laws or gun rights as long as it doesn't affect them. It's just that simple. Like, hell, you don't even, as I said before, you don't have to be old school to be a Fudd. And, you see, it's like if you own a whole bunch of high-tech weapons but are okay with them banning, say, revolvers, you're a fucking Fudd. And I regard Fudds as worse than anti-gunners who don't own any guns. Worse. I regard, like, you know, I would say Tim Walz is the king of all Fudds. I fucking hate that man. Now, I know I've made videos about me not liking Trump, but I fucking hate Tim Walz. And, it's just, the reason the Fudds are so bad is because the fact that they own guns gives them undeserved legitimacy. They are just fucking hypocrites, plain and simple. And, I am here to dispel some of the myths and facts. I know we've seen videos like where Fudds are portrayed as always old school. Now, not all most old school people aren't necessarily Fudds, but most Fudds are old school. But you don't have to be old school to be a Fudd. It's just that simple. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Be good, y'all. Peace.